Spartans! What is your profession?
And yeah, looking forward to it, you know. Two former champions, two the two best British fighters in recent time, you'd say. So, you know, excited. Two different styles. It's gonna be an interesting fight. The promotion is gonna be very good. Two polar opposites. Fury, the loud guy. You've got AJ in general, the calm guy, but if needed to be, he'll chirp up as well.
Is this a gamble by Benavidez? Obviously, at light heavy, obviously last fight is the way how he just destroyed Anthony Yard. Gone up to cruiserweight to fight for the belts. Is this a gamble for Benavidez because he's never fought at that? Okay. Okay.
No.
Predictions, ST. What are we saying? What are we going with? Talk to me.
Inoue on points and to drop Nakatani once.
Fair. I can't disagree with that. I'm going to agree with you. I think it's Inoue on points also, but I think both guys drop each other.
Ooh, yeah.
I think Nakatani is going to drop Inoue early. And then I think by the middle rounds, I think Inoue is going to drop Nakatani, and that's going to be the game changer. Yes, people, another edition of Nights of the Round Table Discussions where we discuss all sports all the time. Got my guy ST in the building. How are you doing, sir?
All good, man. All good.
No, I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. People, listen, we told you we'll be back. It's not 40 chat, so don't worry. Mr. KA isn't coming late again. We'd have to switch it up. It's time. This is gonna be a very busy month when it comes to boxing. There are a lot of big fights that are coming up, so we had to bring it back. And there are two major fights happening this weekend, and we could not do a poddy on these two fights because they are two massive site fights. So we're going to be getting into that and also getting into the big announcement that took place about AJ and Tyson Fury and updating you on that. But as usual, before we start, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Get the likes up, get the subscriptions up, as I say the time. Share. We are here, and don't forget to join our social media pages as well. Links are in the description. People too apologizes for not being here. Life be lifing for him. But listen, I'm not worried. I've got the Encyclopedia of Boxing Knowledge here in ST, so we're going to be dissecting everything that is going on currently in the boxing world. ST, we're going to start off with the big announcement that took place. Obviously, we saw Tyson Fury fight a couple weeks ago against what's his name?
Makhmudov.
Yeah, that's his name. Yeah. We was calling it. What was he calling him? Tooth and like the last boxing talk. I can't even remember. Matt Murdock. We was calling him Matt Murdock, Daredevil, bro. But yeah, came off that with obviously a points victory. And I mean, he looked all right. Obviously, shook the cobwebs off. Then we saw the theatrics. Obviously, trying to get Eddie Hearn in the ring, trying to get AJ in the ring. Obviously, to do this big announcement that he wanted AJ next. AJ came out and said, "I'm the landlord. You work for me." Yada yada yada. Since then, we then got confirmation that AJ will be having a tune-up fight against the Albanian youth. What was his name? Prenga? Is it Prenga?
Prenga,
Yeah,
Prenga.
Yeah, Prenga. But more importantly, ST, Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren, Turki Al-Sheikh all put it out there that it has been confirmed Fury and AJ will be fighting. There will be a fight towards the end of this year. No confirmation of date, people. No confirmation of the venue, but the contracts have been signed. It's going to happen, bar any injury or any other outside incident that occurs. ST, your reaction, first of all. It's been a long time coming. As AJ said after the Fury fight, he's been chasing Tyson Fury for 10 years. I think, did we do a poddy after that? Or was we just talking amongst ourselves? I can't remember. But I did say there is some truth to that and some myth to that. Only because I said I don't necessarily think it's the fighters that didn't want to fight, but I believe
It
that
was the promoters.
the promoters had a big
You said that in the
thing with
group.
that. Yeah, we said it
Yeah.
in the group. And I think that back then, when promoters weren't doing, it was very, very difficult to get promoters to do these crossover events and whatnot. And obviously, unless the money was right, i.e., Floyd and Pacquiao, when we're talking about stupid money, Turki Al Sheikh has dispelled all of that and gotten these guys to get in the room with each other and make these fights happen. But yeah, your reaction to the fact that contracts have been signed, it's a 2-fight deal, and it's supposed to happen at the end of the year.
Honestly, as a selfish boxing fan, I'm very happy. I'm happy that the fight is happening. It's long overdue. I do think both fighters are past their best. However, it's still going to be an interesting fight. I'm excited for it. There will be a lot of hype around it. The promo is going to be very good. I'm just excited, man. I'm happy that AJ's finally decided to actually fight Fury and vice versa. Even though AJ is doing the right thing by taking the tune up, especially after what's happened with him due to the accident, due to all the other issues. And you know what? Fury, fair enough to him. He's had his tune up fight as well against probably a better fighter than Pranga in Makhmudov. A lot better fighter because I've seen Pranga fight. I've watched a bit of tape of him. AJ's going to win.
Yeah.
It's not going to be an issue. But anyway, again, it's just to get the cobwebs out. It's the right idea. And yeah, looking forward to it, 2 former champions, the two best British fighters in recent time, you'd say. So, excited. 2 different styles. It's going to be an interesting fight. The promotion is going to be very good. 2 polar opposites. Fury, the loud guy. You've got AJ in general, the calm guy, but if needed to be, he'll chirp up as well. It's going to be so interesting, you know what I mean?
No, I hear you. I hear you completely. The promo is going to be, I don't know, the only reason why I say that, not that it's going to be bad, but it's not going to be the Fury of old. We've seen that Fury's changed in the way how he carries himself. Don't be wrong, it's still in there, but he's mellowed. He's mellowed.
Yeah.
And I think AJ has changed from, obviously, when we saw what first came in, we saw this babyface guy, obviously for the fans and whatnot. And it's only after the Usyk fight where he felt the fans turned on him, we saw this. You saw the roadman thing. You saw why when he was on the roads. You saw that guy come out, and you saw that against Dubois, and we know what happened after the Dubois fight. We don't need to go back there. I feel like this version of AJ is going to be very, very calm, not going to say too much. And I think there's 2 reasons for that. One, I think he's just fed up of doing all the talking now. And 2, obviously, we've got to understand that even though this is boxing and it's the way these guys make a living, we can see that life isn't promised to anybody. And the unfortunate accident that happened with him and his friends and them dying, I think we're going to see an AJ that's just more recluse, and he's just going to want to get in the ring and do business. Prenga, respect to him, because I feel like AJ is going to hurt him, and not because he wants to, but pure pain from what happened to his friends in the accident in Nigeria. But when we look at it, ST, as you said, the two of them passed their best. Both men lost to Usyk twice, so we know who dominates the heavyweight division. What we meant to expect from this? I mean, yeah. What can we expect?
I
Are
think,
we?
as you know, big fights, it'll start off very cagey. I think they'll both be judging their distance. I think both fighters, especially AJ is not. But after he lost to Andy Ruiz, I mean, before he lost to Andy Ruiz, he was this he would this killer, use his combinations, um, go for the kill. Ever since he lost to Andy Ruiz, he's more circumspect, and
Mm,
especially as you mentioned on the unfortunate passing of his friends dying as well, you can see that he's a bit mellow, he's a bit down, which is
mm,
understandable. He's not
of
right.
course.
I don't
Yeah.
think he's right. So I think he's going to be circumspect. He's going to respect Fury. I even think Fury is not going to go for him early as well. I think it's going to be cagey for the first few rounds. Once they get warm, is when it's going to start, and then we probably will see fireworks because I think because it's been a long time since these two have been waiting to fight each other. I think that fireworks will happen eventually. I think that Fury and AJ will just happen. And remember, they both sparred each other. I know this is a long time ago, but they know each other. If you understand
Mm,
what they've been
mm,
around each other, so this fight's been brewing. You can expect fireworks from round 5, 6.
mm.
And yeah, the fight is going to be a good fight. I'm actually excited for this fight in a way, even though it's two former champions, still big names in British and in world heavyweight boxing. I'm excited, man.
Nah,
Get tickets.
depends on where it is. But
Yeah.
no, listen, it's the biggest fight in Britain since four. When I say two British fighters, it's the biggest fight since Froch Groves. I'd say
Yeah.
the biggest fight since Froch Groves between two British fighters. Just coming back to what you said, do you, ST, a trauma that AJ's gone through? Do you think it's wise for him to come back to boxing? Do you think that he should have taken more time, or do you think he should have just retired from boxing completely?
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually quite surprised he's done the I'm actually quite surprised he's done the actually took this fight. If I'm honest, if it was me, I would say get your mind right, if I'm being
Mm,
honest. Maybe
mm,
he has, maybe we don't know, but even looking from when Fury beat Max Moldova and when Fury was calling out, I'm assuming that the contracts had already been signed before. Anyway,
mm,
he didn't look right. I'll be honest. It looked like he was just willed out. He was pressured to go in a sense.
mm.
He didn't look himself. His eyes looked gaunt.
Yeah.
He's not right. And I couldn't begrudge him personally
Mm,
not taking the fight due to his situation.
yeah.
If I'm being honest, I know people would have said, "Oh, AJ is ducking." It wouldn't be a duck for me because you have
Nah.
to understand. Yeah, boxing fans are harsh. I would have said no, and I would have said the same thing if Fury went through something similar because grief is different. You need to understand, especially he saw his two of his best friends die in front of him,
Mm.
and the
It's,
injury was still playing on him. That stuff, people don't realize that has a lasting effects, and you can see he's not the same person. I don't think he's fully recovered from it. I would have understood if he took two fights even before this. But yeah, personally, he's not. I don't think he's in the right frame of mind. If you understand what I'm saying.
no, I completely understand that. And obviously, we don't know. We can only
Yeah,
speculate and go based off what we see. We don't know. People, he could be in the right frame of mind. He could be looking at it as, I want to do this for them,
yeah,
and using his grief to um, channel his anger and roll back the years and put the performances out there that will make them proud. So he could be looking at it from that perspective, but it's interesting times. What do you say? Obviously, we know Two's not here, but you said in the group chat that he still doesn't believe this fight will happen. He believes that, with a lot of people that do, because it's taken so long for them to get to this point, there are still people that believe that this fight won't happen. What happens if it doesn't? Like, don't be wrong, depending on the reasoning. Say, for example, AJ has the tune-up fight, doesn't feel right, and it's like, yeah, nah, I can't do this. and just says, I'm going to pull out because I just, like, mentally, I'm just not right. And we can accept that. But say, for example, like, there's just some, and look, you can't, obviously, you can't forward think that you're going to get an injury. But just say there's a little niggle. People are going to start saying, well, oh, here we go again. It's not going to happen. Da, 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 da. So do you think there's a possibility that this, like, take the AJ and what's happened and take a massive injury like an orbital or something, or even worse, take AJ losing to Prenga, like, take that all out of it. Do you think there is something that could happen that could make sure that this fight doesn't happen and disappoint boxing fans?
You know what, bro? I wouldn't be surprised. Like, Fury had previous pulling out. AJ has had issues sometimes with pulling out. Not very rare, but he still had. Sometimes he's pulled out before. Always had. It's more Fury, but even that, like, egos. Like, it's not really the fighters themselves. It's more the promoters. Maybe there's a dispute and there's a contract dispute or something. Maybe someone's not getting paid the right percentage. That could possibly happen. And to be honest, even if AJ's, I think AJ's in a very tough position because even if he pulls out, even let's just say he's not feeling right, and you said that you can accept it, we can accept it. I don't think the British fans can accept it. And
Mm,
that's how I think that's how selfish they are because they're thinking
mm,
now is the time in their heads. But we understand that we know like he's gone through a lot. And let's be honest, yeah, as much as you get onto both of them, Joshua and Fury they're not scared. Like
nah.
fighters rarely are scared of each other.
Yeah.
It's more to do with
It's
promotion,
politics. It's,
politics.
it's more to do with politics, and which is why I said
Yeah,
about promoters, why fights haven't happened previously. And as much as people want to talk about Turkey Al Sheikh and all the negatives that he's doing to boxing, one of the biggest things that he did, you cannot, is undeniable, is that he got these promoters to put their egos aside and put enough money on the table so everyone can eat
exactly.
more than what they needed, and got these big fights happening. So you have to credit that. And I think that, I think it was the biggest issue with boxing, is that we couldn't get fighters fighting, and the majority of the time people will say, don't be wrong, there were times that fighters were like, yeah, no, I'm not going to fight that one, avoid people, this, that, and the other. But the biggest thing was promoters. Oh, I work for this one. Oh, I work for that one. Well, no, there's not enough money on the table. Then you have the only way you were getting these guys to fight is if it was the biggest fight of all time. Like, so Turkey Al Sheikh has dispelled that and said, yeah, get these fighters to get on. So I don't think there's going to be any. Obviously, contracts are signed. I think the nitty gritty details, ST, we know what it is. Who walks out first? Whose names first? All these little things that none of
Who
us as
picks up the glove? Who
yeah,
picks the gloves and all
yeah,
these things?
yeah, all these little things that we don't care about as boxing fans. We just want to see fights. So we could see something like that because it always comes out about something, the gloves or the hand wraps or whatever. But I fully expect like this fake fight will take place, and people, listen, when it comes to that time when it's going to happen, you'll obviously get a much more in depth preview and analysis of what's going to take place. But we're happy that it's been signed. We're happy that it's been announced, and we look forward to it. Obviously, AJ getting through his tune-up fight first. But ST, we part that to one side because that is for the future. We're going to talk about the now, and now is the time where we've got two huge fights coming up. Now, for the armchair fans, for the people that don't really watch boxing, for the neutrals, you probably don't even know that these fights are happening, which is criminal. Especially the first one that we're going to talk about is criminal because this is probably the biggest fight in boxing, in terms of two elite fighters that are in the top 10 of the pound for pound rankings. And I am talking about the monster Inoue versus Nakatani. And people are probably going to be like, oh, yeah, I've heard of Inoue, but Nakatani, who's this guy? Listen, people, this is the fight that you need to see. Listen, 55,000 in the Tokyo Dome. It's the biggest fight in Japan. It's the biggest fight with two Japanese fighters happening in boxing, and it is for the undisputed super bantamweight title. Inoue, obviously the monster, 32-0, four-weight world champion against Nakatani, who is the challenger, three-weight world champion, who is also 32-0. ST, man. Oh, I think if I remember correctly, I think the last time we spoke about the monster, you did say when we said who was next, you did say it had to be Nakatani or he moves up in weight. So we've got the Nakatani fight. I can't wait. I can't wait. This fight is gonna be massive. We're gonna get into obviously the analysis and the tactics first, but just give the viewers a little bit of background on Inoue and Nakatani. Let them know what is about to take place and why they shouldn't miss this fight.
Okay, so I'm not going to give you too much analysis, but just for the fans, these are two very, very skilled fighters.
Elite.
Very skilled fighters. Nakatani uses his range. Actually, no, let me not even go into he's a very good fighter. Inoue, I'm sure everyone's seen Inoue.
Yeah.
Knocking out everybody that they said that he's ducking, he's put into the ring, beating them convincingly. The other brother, the Uzbekistan brother that he fought, they said that he was ducking him. Inoue dealt with him. Nakatani,
what was his name? Oh,
Muk something.
yeah. That fight was, yeah, carry on. I'll find the name.
Yeah, you found the name, but all these fighters that Inoue has fought, that you said you struggle with, beat them. Nakatani himself, excellent fighter. Still young as well, relatively for boxing.
28, yeah.
But such a talent himself, dominating his divisions, beating the best in his division, and now taking probably the hardest.
Akhmadaliev, wasn't it?
Akhmadaliev, yes.
Mm.
Now taking the hardest challenge that he's probably going to face, because these two are fantastic fighters. And I never thought they'd fight until recently, because they were far away in weight class, but now they've come closer. But yeah, all I'm saying is you're going to be in for a treat. Like, just because boxing is big in the UK, relatively, America is the hub of boxing. You've got Mexico, Puerto Rico, but Japan is a hot spot for actually talented boxers.
Mm-hmm.
And these two are the best, and these are two of the best fighters in the world.
Yeah,
and we're going to be treated to skill, power, speed, heart. Listen, it's going to be as well at a decent time as well. So I'd advise all the viewers who love boxing, please watch this fight. You're going to be entertained.
100%. I couldn't say it any better myself. And when you look at it, ST, as you said, no one thought it would happen, because obviously I think Inoue was like 2 weight classes above Nakatani, but Nakatani has been chasing him for a while, I think. And obviously then it became 1 weight class, and then Nakatani said, if I come into your weight class, we are going to fight. So Nakatani's been chasing him for about 2 years, realistically, been chasing him for 2 years. Inoue's obviously beating everyone that he's had to beat in the division. And now it's here. ST. Nakatani is the underdog, rightly so. But when you look at it, obviously from our perspective, and you look at the boxing professionals and the guys that obviously study boxing, even though the monster is the favorite, there are a lot of people saying that Nakatani can cause the upset. If he were to, how would he go about doing it? Because as we've said, don't get me wrong, we've seen Inoue in jeopardy. What's it name?
Luis Neri dropped him.
Yeah, Daenerys dropped in.
And Tapat and Tapales dropped. Not is it Tapales? Yeah, it might have been Tapales that dropped him as well.
And he had I think his toughest fight was it against Daenerys?
Yes, where the
Yeah,
first one
yeah, yeah.
where he cut his eye, Danae cut his
Yeah,
eye.
yeah, 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 yeah. So we've seen Inoue in jeopardy before, but he's always bounced back and found a way to win. But if Nakatani were to do this upset, how does he go about it? What is he got to do and able to beat the monster?
What I would say of Nakatani is quicken your feet a little bit because I do think Nakatani is a very talented fighter, very skillful, good feet, but to be in range of Inoue, you have to try to beat him to the punch if you understand what I'm saying. I know we're gonna say height and reach, but I don't
That's
think
just, you know, it is. This he needs height and reach in this.
he needs height and reach, but
He needs to box at range. He has
he
to box at
does.
range.
But what I would say as well, he needs to quicken up his feet. He also needs to anticipate that um Inoue sometimes lets his lead hand down a little bit, and this is why he's got caught a couple of times.
With the left
So
hook, yeah.
yeah, so he's going to need to Nakatani is going to need to quicken his feet up a bit because I think his feet are not as quick as his hands, and he's going to need to actually use his distance as well. Catch Inoue inside as well because Inoue is going to come forward, but Inoue is very clever. Like he's not going to come forward. He's going to come forward with the jab, and he's going to come forward with very good footwork. But if Nakatani is going to win, his lead hand is always low Inoue. So sometimes it's it's bad habits, but also due to confidence. Inoue is a very confident fighter. So the way to disrupt a confident fighter is to jab your way inside because you are the taller fighter. Acknowledge that his lead hand is low and catch him with one of the hooks or the straight right. It's there for him. But that's the way I would see Nakatani win that and to quicken up his footwork a little bit. But man, it's not going to be easy.
Nope.
But, hey,
nope. This is it. But this is it. This is when you come up against these elite fighters. It's not supposed to be easy, and I completely agree with you. Nakatani is going to have to box at range. He has to. He can't allow because we know Inoue likes to get close so that he can obviously let go his combination. So he likes to box at close and sometimes at the mid range as well. What Nakatani has to do is keep him at length. He can't allow Inoue to get close. Obviously, he's got 3 inches. I think he's 5'8". I think he's got 3 inches of height over Inoue, and I think he's got half an inch on reach. But he's got to try and use that to his advantage because if he lets Inoue get close and tries to make this a stand and bang, don't get me wrong, they both have one punch knockout power. Even though we haven't seen Inoue stop anyone of recent at this weight class, but we know they both got one punch knockout power. But Nakatani, keep it at range, try and frustrate Inoue as much as possible. And then, as you said, with that lead hand being so low, see if he can come with a left hook, because that's how I think Daenerys caught him and Neri caught him as well. Daenerys caught him but didn't drop him, but Leary caught him and dropped him with the left hook. Yeah. So I think that's the way that Nakatani can go about this fight. But ST, is it a concern for you that this is going to be Nakatani's only his second fight at super bantamweight? He fought, obviously, his first fight was against Ramirez, and that fight was hard work for Nakatani because Ramirez stuck it on him. Do you think that fight was a positive or negative? The reason why I say it, was it a positive? Because he was in the trenches and realized that he could get through it and win, and it gave him that experience because he's going to be in the trenches against Inoue? Or is it a negative to say that this weight class may be one step too far for him and the damage that he took with a quick turnaround, because I think it's only been about 4 months since that fight took place, that it could be at his detriment going into the ring with the monster.
You know what? Everybody would say yes. It's good that he passed the gut check, but if I'm honest, when I watched that fight, I was like, ooh, I'm very worried in that sense. If he's going to fight like the way he fought then,
Mm.
because in a way, he's not going to do the pressure, the front foot pressure like what Ramirez does.
No, yeah, yeah.
Ramirez came
Ramirez
forward.
just come forward. He was coming
He didn't
forward.
care.
Yeah.
But however, when I also said that Nakatani's what's it called? Inoue's lead hand was low at the time. Nakatani's defense was very leaky,
Mm.
and it didn't take much for Ramirez to come in to actually close the distance. And Inoue has better footwork, and if he's to close the distance, it's going to Nakatani is going to have a problem because I think that Inoue has the quicker hands.
Yeah, he does.
He does. So I think it's a bit of both, but I think it's the latter in the sense that Inoue is going to be looking at that as like, yeah, if I get inside, curtains for him.
He can go to work because as you
Yeah.
said, in a way, he's not gonna pressure him the way how it is, but in a way, he's gonna want to get close. And the one thing that Ramirez can't do is let Inoue get close, especially when his back's against the ropes, because we've seen what Inoue does with that, the lethal body shots that Inoue can come out with. So, and I think that's the biggest problem I see for Nakatani is I just, even though I'm saying what he needs to do, I'm struggling to see how he can keep Inoue off him. And that's where the problem is. And I think the only way, ST, that he's going to be able to do that is if he catches Inoue and lets Inoue feel his power.
Exactly.
Because if not, because Ramirez was walking through it, he didn't care. He was taking everything that Nakatani was giving him, and that is a concern. But as we said, Inoue is susceptible to being dropped, even though he can come back. So I think Nakatani is going to have to let Inoue feel his power early to be able to get anything from this fight. But from Inoue's perspective, ST, obviously we saw him fight Picasso and it was straightforward. There wasn't really any issues in that fight. How does Inoue win this fight? How does Inoue get over Nakatani? Because the way how people would think that the way how we gone about Nakatani is like he's some bum, bro. But he's far from it. But
we know he's not.
We know he's not. But Nakatani's just, I mean, Inoue is just so good that Nakatani's going to do a lot to win this fight. But how does Inoue win this fight? What does Inoue have to do to beat Nakatani?
Get inside first of all. Nakatani's jab. Nakatani's jab is pretty good. It's very underrated. Nobody really talks about it. He's got a good jab. Again, Inoue needs to use his footwork to cut the distance. But when he's getting into mid range, if you like, keep your left hand high and jab. Because one weakness about Nakatani, as skillful as he is, he doesn't move his head as much as you think he does. So that would be an issue. And then also go to the body. Nakatani is tall.
Yeah.
So the body is there for the taking.
Oh, yeah. And you know, Inoue's body shots.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, just doubled jab, head jab. You know, the hooks, I would go, you can use the hooks, but I wouldn't think that's the main thing because Nakatani, when he's inside and when he wants to defend, can defend very well. But it's just about being in that mid-range to close range, jabbing from mid-range, using his superior footwork, and making Nakatani miss. So getting into range, getting out of it, using footwork, you know.
But Inoue is not one to get out of range. He's not one to get out of range. He likes to stay in range, so he can do his work. Because the one thing I noticed about Inoue is that, not saying that his defense isn't good, but he's offense first.
Yes, he is.
Defense second. even though his defense was pretty good against Picasso, but
Yeah,
this is a
he's,
level up
yeah.
from that. But
Hmm.
no, I completely agree with you in your assessment of Inoue. I, this is the problem that we have, people, is when you've got a fighter like Inoue that's so damn good. Whenever he comes up against another great fighter, you really do struggle to give it to the great fighter because of how
Yeah.
great Inoue is. Um, ST experience is key here, and we know Inoue obviously been at the weight a lot longer, way more championship fights um, than Nakatani. Is that going to play a part in this fight? The fact
I
that
think it
Inoue's
will.
been there, he's been under the bright lights. Nakatani, because Nakatani's always been in Inoue's shadow. If Inoue wasn't here, Nakatani would be Inoue, to put it that way. Um, but will experience play a key? Will that be a key factor in this fight? The fact that Inoue's been in the bright lights, he's used to the eyes always being on him. Nakatani is not used to that, even though I know he was on the he was a co-main event on their last card with the two fighters that we just mentioned. Will that play a part? Could Nakatani freeze because he hasn't got the experience at the elitist level?
I don't think he's the characters. I don't think he'll freeze. What I would think is if Nakatani, I mean, if Inoue is going to win, it's going to be because he's too good and
Mm,
because he's going to do things. It's not because Nakatani is a three-weight world champion as well. Like also, he's dealt with pressure. Also, the stadiums as well. Like fans also come up to see Nakatani as well. So it's not
mm,
like he's completely ambiguous to the actual
mm.
fans and the actual like stadiums and stuff like that. He knows the pressure it causes, but I think Inoue is such a superstar that he'll be able to capitalize on it. He won't fold. I don't
Yeah.
think Nakatani will fold. I just think it's going to be two great fighters, but I just think I'm going to obviously give the prediction, but I think the
Mm.
fighter will win because of experience.
No, I hear it completely. Could there be a bit of distraction? We know Inoue is focused on now getting these big crossover fights, obviously trying to break into the US. We'll talk after, obviously, next week about what happens after if Inoue does win. But obviously, there's talk of Bam Rodriguez moving up to fight Inoue. There's talk of Inoue going up to fight Espinoza.
Ooh,
Um,
ooh.
could there be a little bit of distraction for Inoue and him taking his eye off the ball? Could that be a factor in this fight and be a positive for Nakatani?
Maybe because you know what? I think it was one of the fights, Neri. He even mentioned that he got a little bit overconfident. There is that little thing with Inoue in his armor that he obviously rates himself very highly, and rightly so, of course.
Yeah.
It's that thing, but there is a little bit of overconfidence in him. I've seen it, and he's mentioned it himself. So I'm hoping that's not the case, but it's possible. And as for Espinoza, yeah, that would be a very tough fight. I think he'd lose that fight. And I'm going to say
Yeah.
this one. Espinoza is way too big and he's way too skillful.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I think
Uh,
personally.
uh,
I
uh,
think
uh,
that's too. I think it's too. It's like Lomachenko growing up.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, you have the skills and stuff like that, but when someone's just should be in like five weight classes bigger than you, and
Yeah.
Espinoza still no, it's going to be long for him.
Nah, I hear it. I hear it. I hear it. But that's for the future.
That's another thing.
If Inoue wins. Predictions, ST. What we saying? What we going with? Talk to me.
In a way, on points and to drop Nakatani once.
Fair, fair. I can't disagree with that. I'm gonna agree with you. I think it's Inoue on points also, but I think both guys drop each other.
Ooh, okay, yeah.
I think Nakatani's gonna drop Inoue early. And then I think by the middle rounds, I think Inoue is going to drop Nakatani, and that's going to be the game changer. And I think in a way we'll go to work and then win on points. I don't see one stopping the other. Obviously, I know
No,
it's boxing, but I don't think one will stop the other. I think it will go the full 12 rounds, and I think Inoue will win. It's gonna be a hard fight for both fighters, and
exactly.
it's not gonna be this Inoue coming out and just like going to work and it's just like, oh yeah, fantastic, like light work. Nah, he's gonna be in the trenches. Both guys are gonna have to come out of the trenches, and it could, like, if it's close enough, we could have a rematch.
Yes.
We could have a rematch. So, but listen, people, it's one of those fights where you can hear from ST and I where we think Inoue's going to win, but there is a massive chance that Nakatani can give an upset. And if you go and look at other boxing analysts and boxing podcasts, you can see that some people have actually chosen Nakatani to win. So it's going to be a close fight. It's going to be an exciting fight, and people, you need to watch it. But we're going to move on because also what is taking place in America, in Vegas, Cinco de Mayo, we've got a cruiserweight title fight between Zurdo Ramirez and David Benavidez for the WBO and WBA cruiserweight title. ST, probably not as big as Inoue and Nakatani when you're talking about elite, because obviously Inoue and Nakatani, both of these men in the pound for pound ranking, but a big fight nonetheless, and it's David Benavidez's debut at cruiserweight, obviously moving up from light heavy versus Zurdo Ramirez. Benavidez obviously 31-0, 25 knockouts. Ramirez 48-1 with 30 knockouts. These two know each other very well. They sparred each other. They've been in the same camps with each other. They've been in the same gym as each other. A lot of people saying that I've seen a lot of people saying that this is going to be a walk in the park for Benavidez. It's not really going to be a challenge. I think the people will know Benavidez, but in terms of Zurdo Ramirez, just give the people a little bit of background on him.
Okay, so Zurdo Ramirez is, you wouldn't really classify him as a Mexican fighter in a sense. So he does, you know what it is with him? He does everything like a 7, 8 out of 10. Like he's got decent skills. He can move for his height. He got a good jab. He's very skillful. Like he's a very underrated, talented fighter. It's just that he's very intelligent. It's just that he doesn't have the athletic attributes of your wonderful fighters to help him go to the next level. But he is a very good fighter. His only loss was to Canelo. Yeah, Zurdo.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he lost to Canelo.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, he did. You want to go check it? He did.
No.
No, sorry, not Canelo. Sorry. Did he lose? No, I think he lost him.
Bivol.
Yeah, people. Check it again. I'm pretty sure. Or am I going?
No,
No,
it's 48-1. He lost to Bivol.
Yes. Okay, so he lost to Bivol.
Yeah.
Sorry. Apologies. Yeah, no. Who was I thinking that lost it? Yes, Bivol. Anyway, yeah. So it would take someone very athletics to beat someone like Zurdo, but Zurdo does everything correctly at 8 out of 10. But you know what he is? He's not spectacular. He doesn't have the quickest hands. He doesn't have the quickest jab. He doesn't have the hardest punch. But he's just very talented, incredibly intelligent, very, very rare. I mean, his style is not Mexican style. He's a very skillful fighter. So you should be impressed by him. Like he's a good solid fighter. He's beaten a lot of very good fighters that you think you'd think would lose. You think that he would lose to, but he's very good. And now I think he's acclimatized at cruiserweight now.
He's had four fights at cruiserweight.
He's huge. He's about 6'3". Even Benavidez is huge, about 6'2.5", 6'3".
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Zurdo is a very good fighter. Zurdo is a very good fighter.
Listen, obviously he was at light heavy, which is obviously why he lost to Bivol. Bivol outclassed him. in
Oh,
that
it's
fight.
just ridiculous. It was too
Yeah,
quick.
yeah, way too quick. Moved up to cruiserweight. Won the WBO belt. I think Arsen Gulaman. Is it Gulaman? I'm sorry.
Gulaman,
Yeah.
and he also
Beat
was it
Billy Smith as
Will Smith,
well.
yeah.
Yeah, Billy Smith
And
as well.
he beats him easy.
Yeah. Um, and obviously now he's in a situation where in which this is a big fight. Obviously, he's a Mexican fighter. Obviously, Benavidez being Mexican American fighter, Cinco de Mayo, so it makes sense. Um, ST, is this a gamble by Benavidez? Obviously, at light heavy, obviously, last fight is the way how he just destroyed Anthony Yard. Um, Gone up to cruiserweight to fight for the belts. Is this a gamble for Benavidez because he's never
No,
fought at that? Okay,
no,
okay.
no, no. But yeah, go on. Sorry, go on,
No,
go on,
no,
go on.
no. Just tell people why. Tell them
Because
why.
they know each other, and Benavidez wouldn't have picked him if he knew he couldn't beat him. And I also think Benavidez's hands are too quick. I think that's what it comes down to. Benavidez, obviously, I know, and like I said, Zurdo is not quick enough to. He's not a bivol where it's like raw. I can actually get inside and catch Benavidez. I know Benavidez' defense is not the best, but David Benavidez can defend.
Mm-hmm.
He can defend when he wants to, and I'll be honest, David's hands are way too quick for him. Zurdo doesn't have the foot speed or the jab, the quickness, the athleticism to trouble Benavidez.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm like, no. I'm more certain of this match than I am of the Nakatani match. That's how bad it is.
Listen, that's fair. I don't disagree with you. I was just
I know you're sorry,
trying to make a
sorry,
case for Zordo,
sorry,
but you
man.
know,
Sorry.
there you go, people. Zordo's gonna lose. There's no point. But like, I completely understand. I'm get look. Obviously, we see fighters go up different weight classes all the time. Obviously, Benavidez was at super middle, went up to light heavy. Now he's at cruiserweight. I'm just thinking to myself, could this be a step too far for him? Also, you got to take into consideration that from what I've seen, he hasn't put on the muscle mass for cruiserweight, which means that he's gonna go back down to light heavy. So I'm just thinking to myself, it looks like it's just going to be a one fight at this weight and go back down because we know he wants to fight against Bivol and Beterbiev. Um, so I'm just thinking him forward thinking like that at cruiserweight, could it give Ramirez a little something just to give him that little bit of hope that he could do something because as you said, he's good at everything, but there's nothing that stands out. And with Benavidez obviously not putting on the muscle mass, it obviously proves that he's still gonna have the quickness of what he has at light heavy, and that's a problem for Ramirez because, like as you said, he's not that quick. So for Ramirez, like how I know you said that Benavidez is gonna win, but if the upset were to happen, how does Zordo go about doing it? Because I'm going to be honest with you, with all the research that I did, I can't see how he wins this fight. So I need someone else to try and tell me.
This is what I'm saying. This is why I said what I said. But Zurdo is gonna have to old man him in a sense, like lean on him,
Yeah, make
like
it ugly.
make it ugly, because Zurdo can do that. Just make it ugly. Zurdo probably comes into the ring about over 200 pounds, like heavyweights and stuff like that. He's that big. To use your weight, spoil, like jab, hold. That's what he's gonna have to do, because I think Benavidez is like I said, he's too quick in terms of hand speed. And like I said, they faced each other. But like it's so sad because Zurdo's style is tailor made for Benavidez. Benavidez needs someone who's quick and dangerous, someone who's not going to just dive in like, let's just say Opatayo or someone like a Bivol. Problems, because I think Benavidez also, it would be an interesting fight against Beterbiev. I'll be interested to see that fight if that ever happened.
I would too. I think we're gonna hold that. We're gonna hold that. We're gonna hold. We're
Yeah,
gonna hold that. We're
we'll
gonna
hold on
hold
to
that and
that.
talk about it
We'll
after.
hold on to that.
But because I do have my thoughts on that. But no, I agree with you. I think yeah, Zurdo. Zurdo. What he's gonna have to do, as you said, make it ugly, old man him, jab and hold, make it frustrate Benavidez. I think he's gonna have to do a lot of his work's gonna have to be to the body to try and slow Benavidez down. Um, but I just think Benavidez is going to be too quick, too much pressure from because Benavidez has come forward pressure fighter. Um, and the problem with Zordo is he likes to box off the back foot too much. So
Yes, he does.
and that plays into Benavidez's hands because if Benavidez gets him up against the ropes, which Benavidez absolutely loves, because that's when he goes to work. You're just giving him what he wants, but Zordo is not a front foot fighter, so it's just like, yeah. Don't get me wrong. The only thing I can give him credit for is he's got a good chin. So
Yeah, very good chin, solid chin.
he's got a good chin, and we know that Benavidez isn't this one punch knockout artist. He'll bombard you volume punches, and that's how he stops most of his guys. But yeah, I ST predictions, bro. I can't save Zordo any other way. To be honest,
Benavidez by points or late stoppage 11th round. Obviously, it's not that he's going to go down. I just think that maybe Malik Scott will throw in the towel and stuff like that. Yeah, Malik Scott's judo's
yeah, I
trainer.
know, I know, I know, I know,
Bro,
I know. I'm going Benavidez to stop him in the ninth.
Fairs.
I think his face is going to be mashed up,
Yeah,
and he's going to take so much punishment.
yeah.
And I could just everything, as you said, Ramirez is just tailor made for Benavidez's style, and I just think that everything just points to him. Just it's going to be a long, long night for him to keep them belts. And as I said, he's going to keep. And as I said, Benavidez is going to win them and drop them back down, but drop back down to go for the super fights. But listen, people. We're going to wrap up there. Let us know what you think in the comment section. Let us know what you think about AJ and Fury. Are you excited for it? Are you not? Do you think it's going to happen? Do you think it should happen based on everything that we've seen with AJ? Or could this be scuppered by any other thing? Let us know what you think about Inoue versus Nakatani. Who have you got? Have you got Inoue? Have you got Nakatani? Do you think it's going to be Inoue basically proving that he's going to clean up the division and then get these super crossover fights for the Americans? Or can Nakatani do the upset that a lot of people think that he will do? And then we end up with a rematch, which I don't think we are going to be upset about seeing. And let us know what you think about Ramirez versus Benavidez. If there's anybody out there that could tell me how Ramirez wins this fight, please let us know in the comment section because honestly, we don't see any.
No,
Something dramatic would have to happen for him to win it. And it just looks like Benavidez is going to get a couple more belts under his belt, and then is he in the pound for pound for top 10?
I'm not sure, but
I'm not sure, but
very good.
I don't think he is. But if he wins this, I'm definitely sure that he will be.
He will deserve it as well.
If he's not number 10, then he definitely will move into it 100%. But yeah, people, we want to hear from you. And as usual, before we go, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Get the likes up, get the subscriptions up. As I say all the time, share, share, share. We are here. And don't forget to join our social media pages as well. Links are in the description. I want to say thank you very much to my guy, ST, as usual. Thank you very much, sir.
No, you're welcome. You're welcome, man.
I appreciate you, man. People coming up, obviously, 40 Chat will be back tomorrow. We'll be back with Mr. KA, looking at obviously what transpired and can't wait to talk about the Champions League, the first game anyway. And obviously
Yes.
looking ahead to the big games of the weekend. And obviously we'll be back next week with the wrap up of what's transpired in boxing over the weekend. ST, I actually got a DM, bro. People basically talking about saying why we haven't done a preview for the World Relays. And I was just like, Because I didn't know it was on.
I knew it was on, but if I'm being honest, I wasn't really interested.
Yeah, I was like, because I didn't know it was on. I was like, don't get me wrong, people. Like, the thing is, look, as much as obviously, listen, life be life for us. We work.
We'll
This
work hard.
is
We'll work
exactly,
under
you
the
know what I mean. But
darkness.
because it's currently football season, and obviously boxing is having a massive month, like trying to get an athletics talk in is going to be very difficult. But listen, as the Diamond League approaches, obviously we've got the Commonwealth Games, we've got the European Championships. We definitely will be bringing obviously more athletics talk, and it will not be compromised by the World Cup. We
Of
will be
course.
doing both. So that's once the Premier League season's done, and obviously boxing mellows down, we'll be back with athletics talk and obviously the World Cup talk.
Exactly.
But people, we appreciate the engagement.
Also,
Uh,
I was gonna say, you guys subscribe, follow our videos. Make sure if you do this, we can probably potentially do this full time. So,
exactly. You
like,
know, get
so
us out the
get
trenches.
the engagement up. Like,
Get us out the trenches, man. That
yeah,
100%. My people, listen, stay safe out there, be safe, and we shall see you very, very soon. Peace.
peace.